More than a few years ago when I was a young pastor, I faced a couple of seasons of discouragement. All right, well, more than a couple. And I remember finally deciding to reach out and seek the advice of an older, more experienced pastor that was in my circle. I figured when I got there, he was probably going to dish out the same advice: pray more, read the scriptures more, or you're not trusting God enough. You know, the typical stuff you hear when you're facing discouragement. So I went in there sort of with some preconceived notions. After I had dumped all of my problems on him, he listened very intently. Then he looked at me and he asked me this question. He says, "Bob, how much sleep are you getting?" How much sleep? What does that have to do with spiritual discouragement? What does that have to do with staring down the beast of discouragement? Well, it turns out that was one of the secrets. And it wasn't just from him. It was actually from the scriptures, believe it or not. See, sometimes we think this discouragement thing that we face is a spiritual issue, that we're not trusting God enough, that we're not memorizing the Bible enough, that we're not going to church enough, that we're not good enough. But that's simply not true. Discouragement is a very human thing that we face. It's something that all of us experience. We get discouraged when we get a diagnosis. We get discouraged when a relationship's not going the way we want it to go. We get discouraged by a job. We get discouraged by financial challenges. Anything can cause discouragement. The problem is when we don't seem to be able to break the cycle. And that's what I'm going to be talking about this coming Sunday, February the 25th at Community Bible Church in Dania Beach. If you've been following along here on YouTube or you've been attending in person, you know that I've been in a series called Breaking the Cycle. Well, we're going to continue that series this coming Sunday, February the 25th, with a message called Breaking the Cycle of Discouragement. If you've ever faced discouragement or you're in that cycle right now, you won't want to miss this message. Remember, we have 2 morning worship services that are in person for you at 9:45 a.m. and 11 o'clock a.m., both Eastern Standard Time. If you can't join us in person or you choose not to on that day, you can always catch us online live at 11 o'clock a.m. or later on after that service, anytime you can tune in on demand and watch the message. But if you're facing discouragement or you know someone who is, and you feel like it's either become a cycle or you want to keep it from becoming a cycle, this coming Sunday is for you. We'll see you then.